Isn't it amazing that there's absolutely nothing to say? I mean, absolutely nothing. How can one word describe the sound or hearing of this sentence? So, you know, how can how can anything get close to the suddenness of just this? I mean, and uh, yeah, it can appear or seem like then that, you know, it's so outrageously, magnificently heavenly, because it always has to be good, that it can't be um, uh, the suddenness of just this. And, you know, all there is this. And for that which seeks for other, it's very dissatisfying. For the story maker, that constantly reboots what is just simply not enough. Now, what's a, with what is, there may be desire for it to be other than it is, but that would be what is. You can't do what is, you can't not do what is, it's just what is. And really, this what is always has to have a story, really. And even talking about what is suggests that that it's a thing, or that it can be known as what is. That's just the sound. There's just a description appearing. And this sitting on a chair, hearing of a sound, is actually totally and utterly naked, and naked, full to the brim with the description naked. And you see, words like miracle make it, or pings the mind into something that is Jesus might have done, or some miracle. It can't be just ordinary sitting on a chair. And really, when there is the real, and when everything is taken as the real, then every single word that is said can appear to be objectified. So then talking about what is, it's kind of, you know, there is a feeling that this what is not right, because perhaps of all the gazillion stories that have been told, and then there's a looking out and a wanting this what is to be better. And I suppose what's been shared here today is just this wonderful, horrible, whatever word is being used to describe what is, and that you can't get away from this, you can't escape this. And it's utterly, completely and wonderfully inescapable, and there is nowhere to go. This is nowhere. But you see, in this nowhereness, in this what isness, there can be an absolute lost. There can be an absolute lost in the feeling that this is real, I am real, and I must be able to do something about this. And there might be questions can come about that, but there is a sort of a total disappointment on offer here for that which is seeking other than this. for that which might be lost in images of what this could be, lost in an image of wisdom or liberation or no self or whatever image that what is should be. And this is about a sharing that there's just simply what is. And it's utterly, completely and totally unknowable. It's nothing to do with knowing. It's nothing to do with any word that's coming out of this trapdoor. It can't be held or caught and yet there's always the movement to know this, always. And all that's going to be described here probably, who knows, but is all that will be described here is this total unknowing. And unknowing is not a thing to hang your hat on. It's not a thing to have or hold. It's just simply this. And so there may be questions, there may be anything, there may be comments, there may be something to be said, there may be whatever is to be, whatever. This is a sharing, and so if there's something to be asked or just bloody go for it, just ask whatever. There's no right or wrong. There is no non-duality. This isn't even, there's no meeting, so there's no way of talking. There's no correct way to form sentences. There's no, oh, you're doing a good job, you're getting close here. There's none of, it's just where would you get close to? How would you get close to what is? So whatever is felt, whatever wants to be asked, then it's there to be asked, ask. And yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what happens.
Frank, I have a question. Yesterday, I was listening to a Zoom with Ariana, I think you're familiar with, and she happened to mention that in her own perception, that there is no perception of separation or locality, in that it doesn't appear, it just seems as one. The same thing with hearing, it's all like one. And I happened to ask, I said, well, if you're driving a car, do you pick up locations or sounds from, and she said, well, that's from conditioning, but the actual perception is literally, there is no here and there. And I'm just curious if that's an experience that you or that the character goes through.
Well, there isn't an experience. There's just simply what is.
Mm-hmm.
So then in or out or here, there, up, down, space, whatever. It's all a kind of a story. Because there's simply, you can travel 1,000,000 miles, you go to a multi-dimension and whatever you want to call it, and people will tell stories about that, but it would be what is. You see, because it's grounded in here and there, and this is built, pieced together by a story with me at the center, and everything then is real. If this is real, then out there is real. But there isn't any of that. There's simply just what's appearing to happen. And everything else is a story. There's nothing wrong with stories, but everything else beyond that is a story. And saying what is appearing to happen is the razor's edge. But if there isn't a razor's edge and there isn't a what's appearing to happen, there just sounds. So this, it's not like we can get away from this or escape this. And it's not like this is what's appearing to happen, saying what's appearing to happen, It's just, so all there is the hearing, and then the but out there, stories, locations, all of those. So I have no idea of perception. There's just simply wonderfully and maybe disappointingly for some, just this now, not a better just this, not anything, just this, just the hearing, or just whatever is happening. Feelings in the body, breathing, thinking, and then layered on top of that is endless stories. Some held, some thought of, whatever. So just what is, the rest is a story.
But so even the story or the concepts or whatever, or the thoughts, is that also this? Even the stories would be included as this?
Everything is this.
Okay.
Everything is this. So every time, like it's, so you see, there's all that can be done in the imagination is, there's, when the word oneness is here or wholeness is heard, then there's the imagination then of that, which will look a little bit like X and a little bit like Y. And then there might be an imagination of no self and what that would be like. But this, the unbelievableness, is there's no self, there's no center. There's just this, just seeing, just hearing, and whatever then stories can be then heard as dismissive, but it's just, this is a story. Saying it's a story is a story. Everything is a story.
Gotcha. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Go for it.
Um, I've heard sometimes, and this is other speaking, that there's a kind of a resonance that may occur in the speaking, but I sort of realized that I thought, I don't know, it's sort of like the me or whatever sort of grasped onto it. And then there was sort of a realization that if there's a resonance, it almost implies two. and then and then it seemed like that idea was just another story because what is there to resonate with? I mean, wouldn't that, so I don't know. I just wanted your feeling about that word resonance I hear sometimes.
Yeah, it seems to be not a word that I use, resonance, but I could use it in 2 minutes. But it's a kind of it can be taken as I have resonance, but I suppose it's a kind of you see, nothing's been said here. So in a way, nothing is being described and nothing is on offer. And the what's been said is worse than there's not. It's not that there's nothing to get; it's that there's no you already. So this is if there was a real person, it's the last place really they would be. Is, well, I mean, some take it on as concepts or whatever, but even still, that's just a happening. And so resonance it wouldn't be my resonance, and you can't do resonance, and it's just a word. Everything is energy, and trying to describe it is, it's the I can see why it's used, because there's nothing on offer. And then, so what is that then? It's a sort of an attractiveness to this anarchicness, this total freedom, this, in essence, really, it's not, it's that you're not seen. And it's not like, somebody's trying to not see you. It's just all there is this, then sounds and hearing, and anything can be said, and it's total freedom. And also without the authority, then that can be felt. Let's just say that there's this wonderful, mostly people are used to being talked at from someone with apparent knowledge, and they can impart that, where this is just nothing got to do with any of that. It's just a sharing, and it's not even that. It's a full on, there's just this isness with nothing on offer, and even that's way too many words. So then some words, the words like resonance, might be a good word, and it's something. Then sometimes, there can be imaginations of, God, I've got the resonance then, which is just, it's not anything either.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that clarification.
There's nothing like
Hi, Frank.
Yeah.
Since I've been listening to this message, a lot has fallen away for me, for the me. um, that's also made me feel like I'm a doer because of all the falling away. Then it made me think, well, I must have been doing those things, but I know it's not true. But you listened and interviewed and researched this message for a long time. Did you, when did you or me experience a long falling away of things over time? Do you remember?
You see, you see, there is just what is. That is the unbelievableness, and it's wonderfully doesn't require any belief or any wisdom or anything to for this is just nothing required. So falling away and beliefs, and so I mean, I was raised Catholic. So where would you begin? Raised Catholic, and that there's God and heaven and hell and confessions, and going to confessions and sins, and I mean this, it's just endless, 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 endless. This like is unbelievable, really, the amount of stories and beliefs and in the real. And this is, I suppose, real and unreal, because there is the gazillion stories and beliefs about God, and then the belief in spirituality, then getting no self, and non-duality, and falling away, and that things can need to fall away. See, there isn't even love, and yet all there is love, but it's unconditional love, and it's unconditional love that appears to include absolutely everything, every belief, and whatever you want to say about it. But so yeah, I mean, where do you begin with all that? It was yeah, I can't seem to answer that, really. The falling away and unraveling. The biggest idea that was held here was that somebody knew what this was. That was the biggest. So, and in the end, with non-duality speakers, there was the belief that they knew something, even if there was nothing on offer. And there was definitely a lost in that. Everything else felt like was snake oil, but this I couldn't ever get my head around, because there was nothing to get my head around. But as long as there's somebody there apparently operating the system, then they'll only objectify every single sound. And so then, nothing's there's just simply totally just what is. And so yeah, I think that was, if you wanted to, that was the big held belief, that somebody must know what this is, and then knowing, seeking, all of that just ended. None of the other things, Jesus and spirituality and Osho and A Course in Miracles, that all just fell apart, very quickly. Just didn't seem, it seemed like whatever I was looking for, I had to be wouldn't have to be remembered, wouldn't have to, no story would stick. It just had to be totally and utterly free. But I didn't know, there was just kind of seeking happening then, it was just even seeking for nothing was nothing then there's a belief that nothing can be attained. And that's kind of I don't know if I've answered that, Tanya, but that's what's coming out of my garden. Yeah.
Is there really an answer? I don't know. I never ask questions, and of course, because there's just no answers. But I think just watching but the journey of the Frank has been such a gift, because when you're still a me, there's not a lot to grab onto. I mean, I've lost everything, all my spiritual practices, and then to just, to watch your videos before and after, there's just some comfort in that. There's this, I don't know, there's not much comfort to be had when you're here, but you got to get it where you can, I guess. So thank you for trying to.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do anything. In like, really, you see, in a way, like there could be the image that and there has to be, because there's these videos and it appears like, well, there's the character Frank is seeking, and then the character Frank has stopped. The character Frank has got absolutely nothing. What can you say about this bald idiot? Is that he loves coffee. He loves coffee and wine and beer, and hates hangovers, and works out and plays guitar, and what can is absolutely just what appears to be, and a description can change at any one time, and there's just simply this. It's not my this, it's not your this, it's just what is. And you cannot get any closer to the sound of your own voice. You're not seeking. There's just apparently seeking. There's no Tanya. There's no Tanya. Like, imagine that.
I know.
Imagine that. Unbelievable.
It's so funny because I say, I know there's no Tanya. It's crazy. There'll be a Tanya until there's no Tanya. And
no, already there's no Tanya. There's no Tanya saying that now.
There is. Yeah, it's so fucking great. I mean, it's just unreal. It's so it's so beautiful, because I do see this character as it's more of a character every day, and it's interesting. It's just I think the falling away, which is nothing. There's no falling away because there's no one to fall away, but it in itself is a beautiful experience for the me. It's like bye bye, the long wave. I don't know, but thank you for humoring the me.
There is no me.
I know.
There's no me.
I know.
There's
so
just
entertaining.
You couldn't like, you could read a gazillion books and you couldn't figure out a way to ask that question, but asking that question is what appears to happen. Mm-hmm. And no one knows this. No one knows this. There isn't anything here that knows this. It's a sharing, and in the expression of there is already no one. There's just simply what is. There's just, therefore, there's nothing to know. There's just, all there is the hearing. And all there is the hearing. Nothing appearing to happen. And
I really appreciate you.
Whatever story and whatever then.
It's like we can't hear it enough, over and over in a loop. You're not there. You're not there. You're not there. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But it's,
imagine that there's no one hearing. There's just hearing.
Mm-hmm.
No one going, mm-hmm. It's amazing. Nobody there, like, just sounds, just seeing, just hearing. It's totally empty. full to the brim with the sound of totally empty.
Well, I love sitting in silence with you, and I thank you so much for doing this.
Ah, imagine there's no silence and you're not sitting there. There's nothing happening.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Frank, hi.
Hiya.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Hi. Hiya. So when you say there's no love, is that because that's just another story?
Yeah. So it's a thing. There's no things. It's like, there's the silence. There's the silence. Where's the silence? There isn't a thing called silence. There's emptiness full with the thought of silence. There isn't anything. What apart from, what is what we for the isness. So it's there's nothing apart.
So can I ask? I've got an idea. So like things like jealousy or envy, that wouldn't arise. It's if there's already nobody there. I think anything. I don't know. Anything can arise.
Anything can happen.
But it makes no sense. But it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And there's absolutely no rules. So absolutely anything, and it'll come and go. That's yeah. Jealousy, I suppose. Don't know. Yeah, it depends. Jealousy could happen. Anything can happen. Yeah. But it can be jealousy, can be, depends, can be quite a personal thing and a held thing. I don't know. I don't really know, but it can be, Jesus, the dinner comes down or the desserts come down and, my missus has got a bigger slice of the apple tart. I'm going, no. Will I swap them when she's not looking? So, it's totally ordinary, just this, and whatever is possible. Anything and everything is possible. And images of how it should be are lost. But then anything within that desires, it's everything. There's just already known. So then there's but somehow sitting on a chair is known as sitting on a chair and it becomes safe. But it's, there's no, this is the nameless, and nameless doesn't hold us.
It doesn't matter. What are we doing? Thanks.
Thank you.
I just wanted to respond to Libby a little bit. I feel like I need to respond and say that because nothing has any meaning, the dark thoughts are free to be really dark, you know, and you can have a whale of a time with them. You know, you don't have to censor yourself or try and control it or anything like that, because it's not you that's Libby isn't involved. Not saying you, Libby, have lots of dark thoughts, but when you're talking about jealousy or whatever, you know what I mean? There's a huge freedom in just in the darkness. And it's even more, I think, fun than the lightness.
There is no you that can control or not control, though.
Well, well, that's the thing. It's what the thoughts are arising, right?
It's just thoughts, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of dark thoughts, so I'm glad they're not mine. Thanks, Siobhan.
You were saying, Frank, that dark thoughts, you know, the idea of playing with them or whatever is that's not, that doesn't like.
No, that's just what's happening. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just what's happening. But the control thing or not control, there isn't anyone there to control or not control.
But there may have been a sense of conditioning, meaning God Almighty, I have to control these dark thoughts.
And I suppose the only there's nobody doing that sensing or that whatever that and so that can play out how it plays out.
That's so cool, isn't it?
Mm.
It's unbelievably cool. And Libby, where are you from? Your accent is stunning.
Lancashire.
Lancashire. Thank you. Thank you.
Burnley.
Beautiful.
I hate to break the silence, but I just did it. But I don't have anything to ask.
Thank you.
Frank,
Oh, yeah.
it's me again. Do you still, well, not you, but does anxiety still arise? And I know everything does, so I don't know why I'm asking it really.
See, there is no one that can control anything. So if anxiety is to happen, you could read 1,000 billion books and you wouldn't know how to do anxiety. That's the essence. This is just what is. So, anxiety could happen. Just, I don't know, it could happen. It's just there's no rules. And it doesn't have to be, if anxiety was the case, then it'd just be what is then. It'd just be that. And there's nobody that can do anything about it. Could be, anxiety is anxiety. That's all it is. Now, that doesn't make it better or worse or whatever you want to call it. It's just energy as anxiety, naked emptiness as anxiety. And that's the description for that. But it doesn't come, it's just what it is. So that's really what this is saying. This is what this is all about, is that this is just unfolding. So there's nobody that can do or not do, or, it's just already known, in control of anything, including the attempt to control. Who's going to control the attempt to control? It's just all there is. It's just what is. And there's nobody at the center orchestrating an inch. Already. It's fucking unbelievable and doesn't require any belief. So anything is possible. But it'd be just what is.
Thanks.
It can be images held in a way, images held about, there'd be no, it's funny, like when the images that are held are always on the positive, always on the sugary sweet. So no anxiety, let's just take anxiety out of it and let's just keep the love and the cuddles and the joy part, not the terror, not fear, not, whatever can unfold. They're all just words, but this is just what it appears to be.
Hi, Frank.
Hiya.
Hi.
How you doing?
Oh, thanks. I'm well. How are you?
Oh, amazing.
That's good to hear. uh, so, so this constant mind chatter, I suppose that has stopped for you, right?
Ah,
No?
there's
Like
no.
like this mind, because like I just realized how my mind like tries to figure out what you have said.
Mm,
Yeah, and then suddenly I had to laugh about it because it was like this little concept eating machine, so
mm.
so diligent trying to figure something out, and it was just like in one instant just gone for, yeah. And yeah, so I was wondering whether that has stopped for you, if it ever has happened.
You see, thinking just appears to happen. There is not there isn't anyone that can not do thinking or do thinking right or do thinking in whatever way. Sure, there's just thinking, and then there might be a thought about trying to control thinking, and that would be just thoughts. So
Yeah,
thinking anything and everything can be thought about.
yeah,
You know, it's just that. But there's nobody. There's just no one. So you know, you can't do thinking, but thinking appears to happen, and there's nothing in thinking, or there's nothing that thinking can do with this. That you know, there's just nothing that anybody can do with this, because it's just nothing. Like it's nothing. So there's just nothing. So what can, you know, the mind is just going to up banging. It feels like, can feel like banging the head against the wall, and
yeah.
yeah.
A tiny bit it does like that feel.
Mm,
Yeah, but it's okay.
yeah, it's just what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just what the fuck it is. Like it's just this. Like so, everything is included, including the thoughts, including the fucking dog shit, including
The dog shit in the
including the
garden.
swearing, the dog shit in the garden.
Hmm.
You just can't exclude the dog shit. That
No,
wouldn't be
it
fair.
wouldn't be fair to not get it in once. Oh, yeah. Well, he talks an awful lot about dog shit. I know that for certain. I can't make sense of anything else, but he talks about the dog shit at least once a week. Oh,
Re-
Jesus.
Richard Sylvester is also talking about dog shit, I have heard.
What's that?
Richard
Oh,
Sylvester,
is he?
he also
All right.
talk about dog shit.
Yeah, but I bet he doesn't have two dogs. Like that's a lot of shit.
Okay.
Stop with the dog shit. It's terrible. Jesus. Oh God. Everything. Yeah.
I was just going to say this. Libby from Lancashire is having a laugh. Libby from Lancashire having a laugh.
That's brilliant.
Oh, it's bonkers, isn't it? Oh, it's so funny, Siobhan, because you keep mentioning me, and I'm like, it's brilliant because I was so shy for speaking on here, and like, I feel like the attention's brought. It's perfect. It's so brilliant.
So from the window here, there are a few poplar trees that are really tall. And there was a squirrel eating the new leaves. When you guys are talking about dog shit. So yeah, I think I've never seen it there. And it's very high, really high. Thanks for the lovely meeting,
Thank you.
Libby and everyone. And Frank, yeah.
Oh.
Who, Maria? Who?
What am I now? Jesus.
What
What
do
a
you
group we
want me to
have here
say
today.
everybody's name now?
Thank you. See you later. Bye.
Thank you, Frank.
Bye.
Thank you. Better this time.
See ya. Bye.
If it's
Bye.
proper.
Thank you.